Welcome one and all to a video I've tried recording numerous times and just never ever feels right whenever I try to just say what I want to say here because, to be quite honest, it just feels weird. Feels like I'm almost recording my own diary to just put out for you guys to listen to. But the reality is that why I'm making this video is because I want change on my channel. And normally, I think it's really silly for these kinds of videos. Normally, I think just do what you want to do and, whatever happens, happens. But I feel like I've gained enough of a following here where just shooting from doing one thing consistently for 4+ months to trying to break out of that and do something else, and just doing it is kind of awkward and weird. I feel like people will kind of look at me like scratching their head like, what's going on here? But the reality is that talking about Borderlands up till launch was super fun. Seeing the success in from my channel, and because of all of you guys that come through and watch consistently and all that, has been awesome. Going from 400 subscribers to gaining nearly 1,000 more in 4 months when I've run this channel for 3 years is absolutely insane. And I can't lie, those kind of numbers, that kind of success that Borderlands 4 coverage gave me drove me to continue to cover it. But and I'm doing it what is probably at what you guys will think the weirdest time, because Borderlands 4 is out now. I want to branch out and talk about other things. And honestly, every time I say that, it feels like I'm vomiting up those words, because I feel like, I've gained my following, again, majority of my following from Borderlands 4 coverage, and it just feels like almost like I'm betraying, I'm letting people down, I just almost feel guilty for it. But at the same time, I started doing this for fun. I started doing this for the love of just making content, and honestly, I started doing this for me and my friends so that we could watch back our own gameplay, our own stupid conversations and whatnot, and just laugh about it. I mean, if you scroll back far enough in my channel, you find tons of playthrough videos. I played Skyrim together, which is one of my favorite memories ever of playing games with my friends. Skyrim together was absolutely incredible, hilarious, and I love going back and just watching those playthrough videos with my friends, because we just laugh so much at all the stupid crap that happened. I have, not even that long ago, it's still within the last year, like 6 to 8 months ago, I have Lethal Company videos where I did playthroughs of just, playthrough videos of that, of me and my friends just acting like idiots there. So it wasn't even that long ago that I was doing this stuff. It wasn't that long ago that Borderlands 4, to put it in an ugly way, but it's kind of how I feel, it wasn't that long ago that I let Borderlands 4 kind of uproot my channel and scare me into a box. And I say scare because, yeah, I've gained a good amount of subscribers based off of Borderlands 4's coverage. And I know that as soon as I put something else out that's not Borderlands 4, and sometimes even when I do put something out that's Borderlands 4, it falls flat on its face. But I know as soon as I put something out that's not Borderlands 4, it's going to go right back to like maybe 100 views. And I know talking numbers is weird, especially for somebody that's such a small YouTuber that, it's not like I can live off of this. I need a job on top of this to survive. And I know that's probably funny to some of you that hear that, because as some of you may know, I took time between jobs because I lost my last job. So I took time between jobs to just cover Borderlands up to launch, because I knew it was a big deal for my channel. I knew, all these things. And then, when the lights shined brightest and the launch was coming, I started stressing out. And it wasn't about covering Borderlands 4. It wasn't about making the videos I'm used to making about Borderlands 4. It was about, what do I make when Borderlands 4 comes out? And Borderlands 4 came out, and I started playing the game, but I also was like frozen in time as every other content creator just was like running straight by me, pumping out content. And I'm just like, what do I do here? And I'm not trying to compare myself to others. I know that, I don't get review copies or codes or anything. I don't really care about that. I don't care that other content creators are successful and, they have jobs out of it and I don't. That's not something I really give a shit about. It's more so I'm looking around at the type of content that Borderlands content creators do, and I look at it and I'm like, I don't want to do any of this. And that's the type of content you do when you're a Borderlands content creator. I don't make builds for playable characters and things. I pretty much copy others until I learn the basics of the mechanics, and then, I eventually start kind of building off of that. But I am not a Moxie or someone else where I learned the ins and outs of all these mechanics and I spend hours doing that, and it's just not, I don't have the bone in my body for it. Moxie hopefully loves doing that stuff, and that's why he does it. I would assume K6 does, build videos, playthrough videos, guides on where to get things, how to do things, and that's just not the kind of stuff I'm that interested in doing. And that's not me throwing shade or disrespecting any of these content creators that I have named or anybody that does any of the content that I have mentioned. I love K6. I think he's an awesome person. I think he's an awesome content creator. I love Moxie. I think he's an awesome content creator, awesome person. Not that I've ever met either of them, but they just seem like great people, and I've watched them for years. My point being, though, is, yeah, that's just not the kind of content I'm interested in making. And again, I know some of you might scratch your head at me being like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? This is literally like pinnacle time for you to be making Borderlands content, and you're gonna step away. And yeah, I mean, I'm not fully stepping away from Borderlands content. When updates come out, when DLC come out, when it comes to streaming and playing Borderlands, things like that, I like to do. I like to make those kinds of news videos, those informative videos that do things like that. Guides and builds and things like that, I'm just not that into. I've literally never done them on this channel even before I started covering Borderlands 4. I just never ever did those types of videos, and I've never really been that interested in those types of videos. I mean, I scroll back I've scrolled back looking at old videos on my channel for the last couple of days. I vented about this to one of my friends, and he was just like, dude, you know what you have to do? Like, because I was just stressing so much about this. And it's because I don't want to let anyone down. I don't want to let people down. People subscribe to me. People found this channel. People, whatever, like, they give their time to this channel based off of the fact that I talk Borderlands and stuff. And I know there's others out there that can do it too. It's not like I'm the only one. So, it's just, there's that. And then of course I liked seeing, numbers go up, not to sound too greedy or anything like that. But there was a part of me that, I was having fun and I was seeing my YouTube channel do really damn well. And that was crazy to me to just experience that. But once the fun stopped, I just realized like it's not worth it. That I started this as a hobby. I started this to have fun, and that's what I want to continue to do with this channel. I remember it was about a month ago or so when SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide was announced, and I was so unbelievably hyped that this game got announced. Some of y'all are probably gonna laugh at me because if y'all could have seen how excited I was when this game got announced, it was actually insane. I literally sat down and recorded a full video of me just yapping about this game. And y'all are like, what do you mean? I never saw that. Well, that's because I just didn't release it because I was still in the midst of just covering Borderlands 4 without talking about anything else. I released one video that wasn't Borderlands 4 in that like 4-5 month span, and it was talking about an Xbox showcase. It fell flat on its face, and I ran back scared talking about Borderlands again. So, I mean, yeah, some games I want to talk about probably aren't the biggest of games, probably won't ever, do well video-wise, but they're things I'm excited about. There were topics in videos I, talked about that were just so weird and arbitrary, but sometimes did good, sometimes didn't. I like just talking about the gaming industry, the gaming sphere in a more general sense, and I like talking about, I guess for a lack of better words, just controversial things going on within the industry, shifts going on within the industry, things like that. Kind of, I don't know, I don't want to call it gaming politics because some people might take that the wrong way. But, like I did, is gatekeeping good for gaming? And that video I thought was a really interesting topic to do, and back then 1.6k views was actually pretty good for the number of subscribers I had, so I was shocked by that. But anyways, my point is that I like doing what I did for Borderlands 4, but with the industry more so as a whole. I like doing news coverage videos of just things going on within the industry, reviewing games, news about different games, thought pieces on the industry as a whole, like when the whole GTA 6 $100 price tag craze was going on. I did, more in the cut stuff where, because I'm a huge Borderlands fan and I love Wonderlands Redux, the mod, I covered Wonderlands Redux. I covered the mod and patch notes that the mod had. I did things like that. I did that regularly, like a year or so ago, whenever it was still getting updated. And that was super fun. And just like how in between all those other random videos I did, I would cover Wonderlands Redux with patch notes and all that. That's what I would like to do for Borderlands 4. I'd like to stick with it and talk about the patches and the DLCs and anything that excites me about Borderlands 4. Any news that comes up for Borderlands 4, I'd like to do and still cover. I'd also, and stream it, of course, but I'd also like to talk about other games. I just played Dying Light the Beast, and that game impressed the crap out of me in the first 2 hours. I played it, and I just, the atmosphere and the tension and everything about that game so far has been really interesting and really great. And I'd love to talk about that with you guys and share, my thoughts, go back and forth on it with anybody that's played that game, things like that. I love to be able to just review other games, talk about other games, and just make this place, this channel, a gaming channel overall. I don't know how many people this is going to disappoint or how many people will be happy by this, how many people won't give a shit. But I almost feel like I have to say sorry. Even though it's my channel and you guys probably think dude, just do what makes you happy or whatever. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how people are going to receive this. I just can't help feel a little guilty for just not going all the way with the Borderlands coverage. When I thought I thought before Borderlands 4 came out that that's what this channel was going to be. I thought that's what what was just gonna happen, and my channel was gonna rise even more, and I would hit things at the right time and get the good views and all these things, and have a lot of fun doing it, but that's just not what I want to do. And so the next video may be a Borderlands video, it might be some other game now. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't really know what I want to do for my next video. I don't know a lot, actually. I really just don't know where I'm going with this channel anymore. I kind of, in a way, feel lost especially with making this video. It feels very directionless, but at the same time, it's like, I just got to do what I love. I just got to do what inspires me. And that's the problem. Was when Borderlands 4 came out, I knew I was doing a review. The 5 helpful resources was because, you know, I sat there and thought, I don't like to do guides. I don't like to do that stuff. So I pointed you in the direction of things where you can get that information without me having to sit there and, you know, make 20 videos that's like how to get this legendary, that legendary. Those just aren't the types of videos I want to make. So I think I've talked myself in circles enough here. I just gotta let this video, you know, roll and see what the reception is. If you came here and sat down and listened to this and, you know, sat through all of it because you actually care that much about this channel, about me, whatever it is, thank you. It just means a ton. I still just can't believe how many people have come through and listened to me just flap my gums for 10, 15, 20, sometimes even 30 plus minutes, and then decided to hit the subscribe button and stick around. That truly blows my mind away. That it'll never ever be something I take for granted. It's just absolutely mind-blowing every time. And I appreciate y'all for being here for this today. Thank you so much, and wherever, you know, the wind takes me, whatever I do next, I hope to see y'all there, and I hope y'all have a great day. Peace.